On today's video, let's talk about equipment, more specifically infantry equipment. In this video, we'll go over two sets of equipment that are key for you to get through Rise of Kingdoms. One of them being an initial set, more of a free-to-player set, a low spender set, a set of someone who doesn't want to focus on infantry but wants to have a set that is good on the Richard or something like that. And then a set that is the top tier, the top end, what you want to achieve, what you want to get to, because that's the best you can get as of right now in Rise of Kingdoms. We'll go through all the picks, all the categories, explain everything in this video. So sit back, drop a like on the video. Let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. We're back with another equipment guide. This time infantry, two sets going through. Before we do that though, I'm a sponsored content creator of Rise of Kingdoms. If you enjoy the content, make sure you drop a like on it. And of course, leave me comments down below if you have questions or suggestions for improvements. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. 56.4% of you are not subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. So just like the previous video we did about cavalry, if you haven't seen that, card up on the top right, we have two different sets of equipment on the screen right now. On the top you have the initial cheaper one, and at the bottom the dream one, the one that you really want to get through. Now a few of your comments in the last video made me realize that I was taking a couple of things for granted that you might not know of, so let's go over a couple of basics really quickly. First and foremost, when we talk about special talent, this thing right here, where you can get a chance to pick a special talent. If equipped on a commander with that corresponding talent tree, you'll get 30% more stats. The way you do that is by simply crafting and hoping and praying. If you get lucky enough, you get to pick one of, I believe, 5 or 6 different sets of talent trees. When you pick one, it'll show you at the bottom which commanders fit that tree. And when you click apply, you'll get the same exact equipment, except that it'll have a little image right next to it with the sign, and then you can see you get extra stats so long as it's equipped on a commander that fits that specific set of special talents, in this case archers, the example I'm showing you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is most of these calculations are based on producing materials daily, which is 3 hours for 10 pieces, right? Of course you get up there on the VIP 17, get a little bit of discount, but still, when we do these calculations, they don't take into account the fact that you get 6 gray and 3 green random material chests by doing daily activity, so long as your VIP is high enough. At VIP, I believe 16, you get 2 blue choose one materials every single day. That's not in this calculation. This calculation is pure on crafting, so you can definitely bring those numbers down by doing multiple things in the game that'll give you a lot of materials. You can even buy like the random material thingies in the merchant for resources. Let's go on and start talking about this because we've wasted a lot of time already and we gotta get going. Let's start with our first category, the weapon. When it comes to the weapon choices, you have a little bit of a problem here, because infantry is fairly okay around here. You have 5% health up here, 4% health in here, infantry defense of 6% on the golden age. But the thing about it is, the stats are very, very, very nice. Most of them are 4 and above. The thing about it is, you got to make a pick here that is sensible towards availability of blueprints, availability of materials, as well as try to get the best bang out of your buck, in the sense that some of these picks will be like the Gatekeeper Shield, for example. Gatekeeper Shield gives you 5% infantry health. Now, theoretically, there's 6% defense in here, which is better. But at a golden age is one of the hardest blueprints to get. You gotta hope and pray you get it out of Sunset Canyon, and trust me, it'll take you forever. So when you get here, truthfully, if you're an infantry person, awesome. But if you have an archer march that is strong, you might want to consider taking this for archers over infantry. And in that case, you're giving up on 1% for a blue piece of equipment, which is much faster, cheaper, and easier for you to craft. Just to give you an example, this will cost you 22 days worth of straight crafting, while this right here, I believe, will be what? Over, just so you know, over 72 days worth of crafting just to get it done. So out of 22 versus 72 days, 1%, and this being for health over this being for defense, I picked this as the top tier. I think that you're better off this way. The way you get these is through hunting barbarian camps. The Mr. Koalak, yes, he's a bit tough to find every night. He doesn't show up very often, but when he does, you get a bunch of these. I mean, I have 3 of these blueprints, and I left quite a few of them for my alliance mates who needed them. But then again, I hunted a lot of barbarian camps, to be honest. From there, the next best thing available would be the Blessed Blade. Now, the Blessed Blade you get from Ian's Wallet. You can get it out of all the levels, so it's a little bit easier to get. 4% health. You're giving up on 1% between this and that, but a really, really good return on a green piece of equipment, which will take you literally less than a week to get done. 5.5 days worth of crafting to get this piece out of your way, and with a little bit of luck, if you can get it to a special talent, it'll be better than one of these non-special talented. If you're doing Ian Ballad, you get lucky enough to get one of these. As you can see, I got it from one run. It's a really good infantry piece of equipment. Now, granted, there's a few folks who go more this way, infantry defense 5%, but the difference between difference and health is that I would take health over defense every single day of the week. If you have Staff of the Lost available, but not this, for example, if you take a peek, you can, in theory, create one of these and then dismantle it for the feathers, which you could use in here. And the same thing goes for the iron ore, which you'll need a little bit more of. So if you're a little bit low, let's say on crystals, you could go this way, as these are blueprints that are more readily available, and then switch this way once you have enough crystals or a blueprint available. And that, for the record, is also fantastic for the lower end set, but to start you off, I'd start off with a Blessed Blade if you have the opportunity to get one. If not, go towards the shield. Let's go to the next piece of equipment, the helmet. Now, the helmet is a weird one, right? You have 3% on the Abyssal Visage, which, by the way, turns out you only get 2 of these blueprints. I don't know how you get more of these. I haven't seen anywhere you can get more of these. So maybe it's not a good idea to re-roll it, which is something I said in the previous video. Not a good idea. 3% attack is cool, but 5% defense is even nicer. And this is the top end tier helmet for you guys. This helmet is a 5% defense helmet. Problem of it is, again, Ian Ballad, Nightmare in Hell. It's that top tier that you want to get to. It's the best helmet you'll find right now for infantry. And the next best thing could be, theoretically, this. Except it isn't. 2% defense. Not doing a good job. And in here, infantry health 2% is nice. But you have 3% attack on the Iron Helm. Between 2% defense, 2% health, or 3% attack, I'll take this super, super, super cheap helmet. Very good. You have a ton of these blueprints. As you keep playing the game, you'll get more of them, and doing quests that have to do with crafting equipment. This thing will take you a day worth of crafting materials to get done, and you have 3% attack. I use it on my Richard. It's great. Best piece for you to get value early on, and then work your way to get this blueprint and these materials available. When we go down to the armor part has a few interesting choices. With infantry attack 5% at the Shadow Legion Retribution, this thing is so hard to get. You're going to get a bunch of Shadow Legion chests. If you're doing the top tier and winning the competition in your kingdom, you get about 30 of them. That'll give you 5-6 of these. You're going to need to do quite a lot of Shadow Legions before you can get this. And the investment is actually stupendously big. The investment on this will take you a nice, cool, over 128 days to get done. Okay, that's 60 materials. It's a big investment. If you really want to go this far, you can. That's not my recommendation, though. My recommendation would be, if we keep going down this way, Quinn's Soul. At 4% attack compared to 5% attack, you're missing 1%, but you're dropping your crafting days from over 128 to 72. And these materials you can get pretty easily. From there, getting a Quinn's Soul might be a bit difficult because it's also a Shadow Legion one, but it is more readily available. It is doable to get one. As you can see, I do have one, and I'm already on the way almost to a second one. There's a few other things in here that might be interesting. Most of these, though, are cavalry and archers type of thing. Sieges and infantry attack 3%. This right here, I feel like is the better lower end equipment piece for the chest piece for infantry. 3% attack. This is gettable through quests. I don't really know how you get this anymore, but I think you can get this still. I'm not entirely sure. A lot of these older pieces of equipment became quests, and I don't necessarily know where they come from. So this might have gone away already. If it hasn't and you have one of these blueprints, it's definitely the better infantry one as a chest piece. You have 2% infantry defense on the infantry breastplate, which you can get a ton of. You can get a bunch of these out of the merchant for resources as well. There is 2% defense in here. And between this and that, 3% attack would be better, but you can start here and then dismantle it when you're done with it and come up this way as you're building up. As you can see, there are a few, well, there's one material that is in common, that's the silk. So you can work your way up this way. I think that starting off here or here is not a bad idea. This is the top one for the cheaper sets. As you can see, we'll bring those back up. I haven't done that yet. That's the top one for the cheaper ones here, and it'll take you a nice, cool 14 days to craft for it. Not too terrible, not too good though. You're looking so far at weapon, helmet, and armor. We're up to about 10% worth of stats on the cheaper end set. And when we're looking at the top end set, we're already at 14% worth of stats. Let's get continuing on with more equipment pieces to see where else we end up. In the gloves department, this is when things get really bad, right? The sacred grips are really, 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 really nice. If you're going for the top tier, you want this. Problem with this is that they only come out of Lost Temple Guardians, and unless your kingdom has rules like we have where only specific people can hit Lost Temple Guardians in case this drops so that the specific people that are able to make this and use this will have it, it's going to be a little tough to get them. I think we've seen, since this has come out, like maybe 2 or 3 total of these. I might be completely off, there might be a lot more, but I can tell you that between the KVKs when this came out, we had only seen 1, and that was about a month and a half difference. So this is your top end infantry pair of gloves. You can also, by the way, the archer looks nice on them, but 128 long days worth of crafting, 4 long months till you can get this done with crafting. Because go take a look at the rest of what we got here. The infantry defense 2% is really not worth a purple piece of material. At 3% attack, this is okay. But again, if you want to say, it's a little bit of an issue getting these out of Ian's Ballad. It's going to take you some time. If you feel like you're going to do this for the set, which will give you troop attack and troop defense, great. This is not a bad pickup. You're giving up though on 2% stats, which is a little bit rough, but if you can't get this, this is also your next best bet for the top end set of equipment. And this, for the record, I believe will run you what? It should run you less than 72 days to make. It's a fairly cheap one. It's a 60 material pieces one compared to the other ones. Oh, actually, they're all 60 pieces. I guess in here they're a little more expensive. Yeah, definitely. So in this department, that's cool. But when we keep taking a look, infantry 1%, no infantry, infantry 1%, infantry 2%. Yeah, the basic gloves, the cheap gloves, you can get them up to like a special talent that'll give you another 0.5%, I believe, or something like that. And at 2.5%, for nothing, for less than a day's worth of crafting, you have a great piece of gloves that the only next best thing out of them is this one, which is only 1% more, and then going up this way for 2% more or 2.5% more from the bottom. Very, very good. Infantry really have 2 gray pieces of equipment that are killer, and you can get those done early on. You'll get a bunch of those blueprints out of doing quests through just crafting and making equipment higher level, lower level, and all that stuff. Get that special talented. That's for you right there. So let's bring back the sets and cruise to the next category, which is the pants category. So in here, we go between a purple set and a blue set. And now there's an explanation here that needs to be said. So you do have the ability to get an Eternal Knight with 5% infantry defense if you decide that that's what you want to do with your Lost Canyon coins. Every single Lost Canyon season, so long as you can get the big 210,000 coins needed to get a full piece of equipment worth a blueprint, you could get 5% out of this, right? The thing about that is, it's not that lucrative when you have Karok's humility with 5% health. I'll take the purple with 5% health. It's cheaper to make, it's quicker to make. It'll take you a little bit of time, 72 days worth of crafting. You can get it out of the Karok ceremony. This is one that you get out of hitting Karok bosses. You're gonna wanna make sure you're hitting all the Karok bosses all the time, and it is plausible to get one of these. I got one of these, and I rarely get to do the Karok bosses. I'm very bad about that, and I still got one, so I feel like this is the way to go with a 5% health stat. When it comes to the rest, for a lower end one, you don't have infantry anywhere near here. You have 2% infantry attack down here. You have nothing in here, and then 3% infantry defense. We've talked about Grievous of Exile. You can see since the last video, I even picked up more blueprints. They're super good. They're very useful, very versatile. You can get tons of blueprints to get that special talented. And from there, you have 14 days worth of crafting. And that's that. 3% infantry defense. Very, very good stuff. Our final piece of equipment are the shoes. Now in here comes an interesting scenario. In Lost Canyon, you can also get Shio's shoes. As a matter of fact, I'm almost done getting my second pair of Shio's shoes. And Shio's shoes cost 40 materials compared to the pants, which cost 60 materials. At 5% infantry defense compared to 5% infantry defense, it is better for you as an infantry top tier player to go for a Karok humility and take the Shio shoes instead of the Eternal Knight and guarantee yourself this right here. Because honestly, this is fantastic, much cheaper. It's also very useful for archers. Even if you somehow special talented to infantry, you can still put it on an archer commander and it'll be the best piece of shoes available for archers. And you'll see that in the video coming up about archers in a couple of days. This is your top end, I want to get here type of material of equipment. And I believe that this is what you should be going for in Lost Canyon rather than the pants personally. That's what I believe. Now, when it comes to a lower end one, you have a little bit of a problem because infantry is fairly scarce, 1% out of windswept boots. And quite frankly, we already negated out the windswept gloves because this is even better. Theoretically, you could go for this as well for the march speed. You could go for this for the march speed. And so long as you do this and then you take these, then you're in a decent shape considering you get 2% troop attack. That could offset some of this recommendation. But at 2% infantry attack in here, we're looking at 2% plus, if we go up this way, plus 2%, so that's 4%. In here, we're looking at 1%, and then, where is it? 1%, so that's 2% worth of stats. And then you get this, which is cool, you're up to 4%, which is the same stuff. It's the same exact stuff, except this will give you march speed. This will be useful for march speed if you want to get those infantries to move a little bit faster. But it'll also be more expensive. It's a blue equipment compared to a green one. Granted, Boots of Revenge, again, Ian's Bollards, you're really going to want to get them out of there. It might be a little bit troublesome compared to this, what you get by the boatloads. My recommendation is still keep with the Boots of Revenge and with the cloth gloves rather than go for the set. This will give you the availability also, of course, to crit this and then get even further on the stats. You can, of course, do the same with the other ones, but I don't know. I just feel like going with a green and a gray is better than going with two blues early on. If you want to then upgrade those to the two blues, to the two windswept parts, 2 thumbs up. Not bad at all. These sets of equipment are meant for 2 things. The top one is one that when you're getting started building up equipment, you really want to have all that set and then start upgrading within the set. Why? Because if you don't have a piece of equipment, you have one purple but nothing else, you're actually missing a lot of stats. You're missing a ton of stats, and that is very important from the beginning. If you go take a quick peek at the difference between these two, I mean, you get 4% attack, 15% defense, 10% health, compared to 8% attack, 5% defense, and 4% health. We're talking 29 points compared to 17 points. It's a huge difference. But if you have one one epic piece of material, it'll cost you more in terms of time of crafting than the whole set for what, 5% instead of what, 17%? No reason to go crazy with the purples early on. Stick with the lower end ones, where the initial ones build up with time, and replace those. That's the best thing you can do, unless of course you're a huge spender, and then go wild, right? I guess it's like, okay, if you're gonna be able to make the epic equipment within 3-4 hammer and anvils because you're buying the whole pack every single time, nothing we can do. If you're a 17 City Hall VIP 17, and you've bought all the packs along the way and all that stuff, I mean, yeah, this is pointless for you. But I'm saying for those of us, including myself, who work towards our equipment slowly, get your commanders geared up, get your 5 marches of Sunset Canyon geared up, and then from there start optimizing the top tier ones to have one maybe supreme march and the rest of them just okay. What do you guys think about these sets? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video, dropping a like on it, subscribing to the channel. These videos usually don't do that good. I'd appreciate if you guys send it out to your alliance mates to just take a peek at it. For some weird reason, these kinds of videos don't seem to really interest you guys that much, although these are the videos that I get the most feedback out of. So, in a good way, by the way. So, I don't know. Let me know what's something that I might need to change in here. For now, I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Take care. Peace.